listen, Andy Ruiz is one of the best counter punchers I've been in the ring with.
Wow.
I'll throw, like you mentioned before, I throw 2 or 3, he'll throw 4, 5, 6, 7 back. So he's very quick, and he's got a very good ring IQ. He's been in the game for a long time, a great amateur pedigree, so he's bringing a lot of experience with him.
Dream it, believe it, become it. What's now, mate?
Come on down.
Bro, your voice sound clear.
Yeah, it's clear. It's clear like a whistle, my friend.
Strepsils.
I
Remember
Strepsils?
What?
Don't walk
Tunes.
around. Tunes. Don't walk around, man.
Don't walk around with them sweeties there. Bro, man used to eat them like sweets.
Yeah, I said, yeah, of course, there wasn't that wrong with me. But if you had that wrong with you used to eat tunes, you get a headache,
We're back. Back like a rash.
Yep.
Who that? Live TV. Who's that? Bro, this thing is serious. How come people always phoning us when we come live?
Anything, man, trying to involve themselves. What's wrong with these little idiots?
Anyway.
Wait, I mean, there's lock.
Bro, we got. Listen, your phone's supposed to be on silent now. I'm not gonna lie.
Man, look. Exactly. But every time we're doing something, people want to try to interrupt people's business.
What? Listen, there's only one real talking point of the week.
Yes, there is.
And it's got to be the Anthony Joshua versus Andy Ruiz Jr. fight. Or is it Andy Ruiz Jr. versus Andy Joshua? I'm not too sure. But I don't business. I'm saying it's Anthony Joshua. I don't care. I don't care what the poster says. It's AJ versus Ruiz. Because AJ is about to reclaim back what rightfully belongs to him, in my opinion. Yeah, it'd be interesting to hear the opinions of some great guests.
Yeah, 100%. And we have to also say that the show today is being brought by our partners in the
yes,
they're partnering with everyone, PIF, that is the Public Investment Fund, who are also they've stumped up a lot of money to go bring this fight. So they brought this fight to you with also Andy Joshua's promotions, and Matchroom and Sky are airing it for the fans that are going to be watching it over here. And the fight will be shown at I think the fight's 8:45.
Yeah, the ring walk's 8:45
UK time. But for anyone, because there's still tickets available, and I know there's people who are still trying to go out to go watch the fight.
For
it's
the
a massive,
world, an event for Saudi. It's massive for Saudi.
Listen.
The world is watching, and for the Saudi people, I think this is the first world heavyweight title fight in Saudi.
Yes, it is. But they did try to do a famous fight, because the Rumble in the Jungle versus Muhammad Ali and George Foreman, which was October 74.
Come on, Daddy. Jordan, where they? The knowledge.
Right?
The knowledge.
That fight should have been in Saudi Arabia originally.
Wow.
Because Don King was trying to sell it to a country, and Saudi Arabia was going to buy it.
But so PIF.
Yep.
I believe
Public
tickets.
Investment Fund.
I believe I believe tickets are going to be available online.
Yep, they are.
ClashOnTheDunes.sa.
Yep.
Let me say that again. Clash. Let me get this right. Don't want to send people to the wrong website. Clash as in CLASH on the Dunes.sa. And tickets start from as little as 600 sa.
Yeah.
Not Naira.
Yeah. No, sa. But no, which is relatively cheap. But I'm saying this now, it's like the UNESCO, you got to check this one out, yeah?
Yes.
The arena that they built, Tris Dixon tweeted today and was saying they've managed to put that together in something like 6 weeks.
Wow.
Right? A complete stadium.
That's crazy.
But yet, when we're looking at Texaco around the corner,
Oak Road.
On Oak Road, they're taking all 2 years to build one place. Something's going on. So listen, I think it's great. It's great for Saudi Arabia. I think especially
it's huge for the transformation of the whole country.
Of course it is. Remember, and also prior to it, they are kind of Rumble in the Jungle-esque on this one, because there's also live performances before before the event.
On Undercard as well.
They're having big banquets right now because I'm trying to ring Coogan Cassius and Johnny Nelson and those guys, and they're not answering the phone because they're at this banquet right now. They have a massive banquet out there, and it looks like this is the place to go. The UNESCO World Heritage Site, which is a historic venue, that's where it's going to be held. And go out there and jump on the website again. What's the website, Ton?
ClashOnTheDunes.sa.
Right.
ClashOnTheDunes.sa.
Right. And seeing as we're talking about the fight, let's go grab some people to talk about this fight.
Who you got in the black book this week, Spence?
I don't know.
What are you stirring? Don't stir that around here. What kind of magic you working?
No, on the reals, let's be real. To me, there is only one person to go talk about this fight. One person. And seriously, one person. Who's the guy's football? Who's football for the guys? Who's been points for both of the guys? So this guy shared 24 rounds collectively with these guys. So therefore, to me, it's only Joseph Parker.
Well, I'm not the knowledge, but I know it's Joseph Parker.
Yeah, come on, man. You know this, man. He's a guy, man.
So you got Joseph Parker in the black book?
You, Tunde, please, you're winding me up today. Please, listeners, and seriously, and I'm massive support and big up to everyone who downloads the podcast and who leaves comments and
subscribes.
And please, just subscribe a little bit more on the YouTube thing because like it's all love. And anyone who leaves comments, you know that I always try my best to reply to everyone. So you know what I mean, the numbers are really good. So you know what I mean, we just want more subscribers. But yeah, I mean, let's get Joseph Parker on the line, man.
Go ahead. This is for you, Joseph. We gotta introduce you properly. Go ahead, Spence.
Here on the line is the former WBO heavyweight champion of the world,
the one and only
Joseph Parker.
One more time.
Yo.
Joseph, you know, like with the big fight that's coming up on the weekend with Anthony Joshua versus Andy Ruiz, as far as I'm concerned, you're the only person that I could take an opinion from.
Qualified.
Right, properly certified qualified. The blue tick, not only on Instagram and Twitter, but he's got the proper blue tick to talk about this fight. How do you see this fight going, my friend?
Yeah, I'm one of many people that can have a good sort of indication of what might happen on the weekend. It's a fight that, listen, it's an exciting fight. You know, the first one was very exciting and it was an upset for a lot of people. A second fight, you know, both guys know each other a lot better now. Both guys have had a longer time to prepare, and both guys are looking a lot trimmer. You know, Ruiz has trimmed down a lot, Joshua's trimmed down a lot. So I'm still on the fence with the second fight. I'm not quite sure. Well, in my mind, I'm not even sure how to play out. You know, that's why I'm so interested and intrigued on watching the fight.
Come on, Joseph. This ain't politics. It's not question. This ain't trick question time. We want to answer.
Okay. Listen, the answer from me would be I think that Joshua will box him. You know, box him from the outside and use his reach. And I think he's been working on a lot of things since the defeat to Andy Ruiz.
So do you think that he has watched your victory over Andy Ruiz, what you had for the WBO title a few years back now? Do you think that he's watched that fight to see how you administered? Because our producer Gary was saying how did you get on against Andy Ruiz? And I said, how you got on with Andy Ruiz? You fought very, very smart fighting. You picked, popped, you threw eye-catching shots, held, twisted, and rolled. Can you see Andy Joshua doing that?
I can see him doing it to a certain extent. I'm not, because he's a big guy with a lot of muscles, and even though he's trimmed down, we haven't seen him do that, in the fight. And then so I know that he's been watching the fight that I had with Andy Ruiz because, that's the fight that he sort of, it was a close fight, a very close fight, and I'm happy I got the victory. But we could see that if you box him from the outside and if you use, your height and reach, and you're good on your feet, then you can beat him. You can beat him to the punch.
Yeah, but even though you can beat him to the punch, Andy Ruiz is a very, very good counter puncher.
Very good.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody is more qualified than you to speak about that. Because I remember in your fight, I think it was like round 8, you threw a 1-2 at him, and he blocked the first shot, and he came back with a left or right hand. Similar to what happened to Andy Joshua in round 3 when Andy Joshua knocked him over. Andy Joshua knocked him over with an uppercut left hook. He gets up, and then Andy Joshua hits him with an hellacious right hand.
Yeah. Hellacious right hand, yeah.
Exactly. That right hand was so hard that Julio Cesar Chavez felt that shot. It was a vicious right hand to him, right? So, and he took that. So it seems to me that he's got a good chin, and also it seems to me that that he can punch. And there's nobody more qualified to tell me what's his punching. Because you've been with both guys. Who hits harder?
That's a brilliant question.
Well, what's the fight with with Joshua? I was able to avoid all the big shots that he threw, so I didn't really feel his power because I was able to dodge and weave. Whereas Ruiz caught me with a real good shot in the second round, and I was hit. My ears were ringing for the whole fight. So.
Wow.
If I have to say, I would have to pick Ruiz because he hit me with a clean shot.
Okay. This is interesting.
This is great. Because like also in the fight, in your fight with Andy Ruiz, in the latter part of the fight, you had to bite down on your gum shield to throw impressive shots to be eye catching enough for the judges. You've been in there with Joshua, and you lost on points to Joshua. You was the first man to take Joshua the distance, right? I don't know. It's like, has Andy Joshua been a victim of his own success? Because in that fight with Andy Joshua, and I know that you hurt him a couple of times in that fight. But when they went back to replays, they never touched on it.
Yeah. Went back to replay. It looked like we did, but it didn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because you did. You hit him with some shots. You hit Andy Joshua. There's time where you went down to the body on Andy Joshua, and to me, it looked like you
wobbled him. Yeah, but then when the replay showed, it didn't hit him.
Right, exactly. So, for those, I'm not saying like it doesn't make a difference. The fight's gone by now. If you were to turn around to say like on the things that you could see for Anthony Joshua to improve in going into this fight with Andy Ruiz, what would he have to do?
For me, in my personal opinion, I think his movement is, just movement. He has to have quick feet and he has to have good movement. Because, like I said, if you box Andy Ruiz from the outside, he's got the reach advantage, he's got the height advantage. The only thing is he just has to move, jab and move, jab and move, jab and move, set it up, and then finish him off. So I think that's what he has to do. He has to be very good on his feet and very light.
Absolutely, because as you're talking, Joseph, I'm watching highlights of yourself and Ruiz, and I see how you employed good footwork and movement. It's very key because you can see that this guy is a tremendous counter puncher. I mean, this is the first time I've seen the highlights, and I can see that exactly the point you're making. You have to have the good footwork. I mean, we haven't actually seen that from Anthony Joshua before.
No, we haven't.
And we haven't seen it. That's why I'm very interested to see how he's going to come out and how he's going to perform with this fight. And listen, Andy Ruiz is one of the best counter punchers I've been in the ring with.
Wow.
I'll throw, like you mentioned before, I throw 2 or 3, he'll throw 4, 5, 6, 7 back. So he's very quick, and he's got a very good ring IQ. He's been in the game for a long time, a great amateur pedigree. So he's bringing a lot of experience with him.
I remember I was in California and I'm watching him. These guys, as a young kid, he was sparring with James Toney. So, as you say, he's got
and the Van der Holyfield.
James Toney and the Holyfield. He's been around for a long time.
Okay, so listen, I know we spoke about Anthony Joshua, Andy Ruiz, but whenever I get anyone on the show, I like to speak about the person I'm talking to, and I want to ask you a few things. I want to ask you, the kind of people that inspired you to get into the sport of boxing. That's what I want to know. Who's your heroes?
Yeah. My hero was my dad. He introduced me to the sport at a very young age.
Hold on.
Hold up.
I love that. You know what? It's so funny because, you got to be. I think about the third person who spoke about their father and them being an inspiration. But
John Barnes.
The
legendary football player John Barnes. England is superstar to us.
Yes.
John Barnes said exactly the same thing.
There's a lot of us that really speak about our fathers.
Yes. But go on, carry on, Joseph.
No, he's named Jack Dempsey. I'll be named after Jack Dempsey, so his name is Dempsey.
Oh, the boxer?
And he got me into the sport.
The actual boxer Jack Dempsey?
Yep, the former.
Yeah, so my father's named after His name is Dempsey.
Oh, wow. Yes, sir.
So he got me to the sport at a young age. I fell in love with the sport, but just seeing hard work every day sort of inspired me to work hard in what I chose to do.
Yes. And I see, going back, going through your career, I mean, you fought some big names, Carlos Takam, Alexander Demchenko, Andy Ruiz Jr., Hughie Fury, Anthony Joshua himself, Dylan White. You've got a good resume of fighters and a very experienced. And what would you say is your most testing fight out of those guys so far in your career?
The most tested one? I would have to say Ruiz, and there's a lot of factors that I say that because of the camp. The camp wasn't the best camp, and I heard from him he didn't have the best camp as well. And it was a short sort of time frame where we had to squeeze in, a lot of training.
Yes.
And back in those times, I wasn't training in my off season. I wasn't keeping in shape, so I had to get in shape. And and Ruiz was a tough guy. In that fight, I felt, he hit me. He hurt me a lot to the body, and I felt, a lot tired. But there was sort of a time where I had to push through, and your mind to take over and get you through whatever I was going through.
Yes. Also, I know you played a part in Vladimir Klitschko's camp sparring. What was that like?
Yeah, as a young boy, getting the invitation from the world champion, the unified world champion, to come into camp and help him out, it was sort of like a eye opener for me. Seeing how the champion operates, seeing what he does. I mean, but he's probably the craziest sparring resume that I've ever seen and experienced. He sparred 12 rounds Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, like every week.
Wow.
And for me, that's a lot of rounds.
Wow. Well, maybe there's something to it because I think he was the longest reigning champion for.
Yeah, like 10 years.
Wow. That's interesting. That's good. That's good knowledge for me.
Joe Lewis was.
Joe Lewis.
Joe Lewis was long.
Oh, Joe Lewis, yes.
The modern day champion, though.
Of the modern day, yes.
That's why
modern day.
That's why we call him the knowledge because you can always rely on Spencer to correct us.
But even though Klitschko had more world title fights and defenses,
yeah.
But Joe Lewis had more consecutive because he was champion and he went right through from the years that he held the title to 1948.
So, but I have to get this right. So what you're telling me is that Vladimir Klitschko sparred. I'm talking about the trading.
12 rounds.
12 rounds every day for the whole camp.
12? No, not for the whole camp, but the whole time I was there, which was the sparring phase of his.
That's the whole camp.
That's cool. No, how long was you there for, Joseph?
Tuesday, Thursday, Friday.
Wow, that's amazing. That's good knowledge.
Some people that's their sparring in the camp.
I think we should. I think we should have kept that one offline. I don't want the people to hear these little secret gems. But yeah, go on, Spence.
Yeah. So like, you were a very, very good accomplished amateur fighter, and a lot of people like they look past that. But then if we look at the guys in your corner, like Kevin Barry, who famously fought Evander Holyfield in the 1984 Olympics, and Evander Holyfield stopped him. But it was ruled a disqualification because he threw the shot after the bell. But then the madness is like years later, Kevin Barry actually starts working with Evander Holyfield in Evander Holyfield's corner because they're both religious guys, and so is Joseph. Joseph, deeply religious man as well, and you can see that in his demeanor. Like, what stuff has been put on you? How much learning do you get from being around someone like Kevin Barry? And what stories does he drop on you? Because he's got a wealth of knowledge.
Listen, he's so much knowledge. In the beginning, I had no idea how the professional boxing, how it went. And sort of when I joined his team and joined the camp. I was like, in the beginning, I was like a sponge absorbing every single thing. I learned so much, and I'm still learning now. There's a lot of things that you still have to learn, not only with the skills and techniques that you learn, but also just the world of boxing, what's involved, to the management, to the promotion, to so many things, sponsorship. So there's a lot of knowledge being passed, from him to me, and there's still a lot of learning to be done.
You're massive in your native Samoa. How do you handle that kind of success? Because I remember speaking to Johnny Nelson a few years ago, and like I remember when the Sky team went out to interview you, and Johnny said, everywhere you turn, he said, this guy's a god. You think AJ's big, but he's exactly the same equivalent of AJ in the UK as you are in Samoa and in the New Zealand. He said everywhere you go, there's billboards, there's little kids running around. There's like, is there a burger named after you? I don't even know, but there's something like it's crazy. Like, how do you? Because you're really modest and a humble guy. Yes. How have you managed to stay that way and stay grounded?
I think it's the standards that my parents and parents and family members in the church instilled in me at a young age, but also just having the same people around that you had in the beginning. And no matter how much success you have, it shouldn't change who you are.
Hold on, wait. So what I want to ask is what does the future hold for Joseph Parker?
Listen, I had a fight October 26th with Chisora. Very gutted. I was gutted. The doctor pulled me out of that fight, in just health reasons. But I was willing to fight anyone, anywhere, anytime. I said to the promoters, give me anyone. I don't care who it is, and I don't care where it is. Just give me a fight. So my next fight, I think, is looking like we're fighting in February. Hopefully, end of February. And I'll fight anyone there is. I don't care. I
know that you'll fight anyone. And seeing as you would fight anyone, who would you like that fight to be against?
I want a Chisora. I want to. I know I have to work my way back to the top, but I want Chisora. Yes. I would love to fight Usyk one day. I love his style, and I love the speed, and he's welcomed into the heavyweight division. I love to fight Ruiz again. Joshua Dillian White. That's another fight that I love to have again. It was a close fight, but I know that
that was a hell of a
that'll
fight.
Be he's well done to him. He was a man on that day, but I know I can beat him.
I have to say it. There's a young man on these shores named Daniel Dubois. I did read something that he's up to entertain you and dance with you in the ring. What do you say to a challenge from young Dubois?
I'd love to fight him. If it makes sense for both teams.
Wait. Listen, Joseph, when this fight gets made, just deposit 10% to Spencer Fearon and Tunde Ajayi. We'll take it. But go ahead, yeah. I want to hear what you have to say about this.
Like I said, I'll fight anyone, and I respect every fighter there is. But at the moment, I know he's calling me out. He wants to fight me. I'll take the fight. But at the moment, I'm trying. My goal is to be, two-time world champion or unified champion. But so I don't see that as a way of getting me closer. The closest way to getting me there is, the likes of Chisora, then, hopefully Usyk and all those guys at the top. So at the moment, I know he's calling me out and it'll be a great fight, but I'm still chasing the dream of being two-time world champion and unified champion. And I'm going to take the right steps to get there.
Yes, that's a very good point.
So if you had an ideal tick list, right? In which order would you like to fight these guys? Who would you want? Like maybe a Chisora first, then a Usyk, then a world title shot?
Listen, I'd like to fight. The first person will be Chisora because I was scheduled to fight him and he's got a big mouth and he's been saying a lot of crap, So listen, I'd love to fight him. He's sort of had this is a second phase to his career. Yes. He's had some great wins. Yep. He's actually looking very good, training very hard.
Yes.
But I know I can beat him. And then I like if I fight Chisora and beat him, then Dillian White, then Usyk, Andy Ruiz, Joshua, even Wilder. Wilder's a great friend of mine, but I like to test myself against the best in the world, and I fight him if I got the opportunity.
Have you ever sparred with Deontay?
Well, I haven't sparred with him, but as you can see with all his fights, he's very powerful.
Yes. That would be a great fight. Joseph Parker.
Very, very good.
Let's make that fight.
Yeah, it's true.
That's 20%, please, Joseph. But
25.
25. Yeah. We got a bit manager's fee. But Joseph, listen, it's been an absolute pleasure. I'm elated to actually get you on the phone and speak to you. Spencer, I don't know where he gets his phone book from, but we need to steal this phone book Spencer's got. We call it the Black Book, the John Wick book.
The John Wick book.
The John Wick book, yeah. But for me, Tunde Ajayi, it's been an absolute honor and a pleasure. And I wish you all the best in your career, brother. Keep winning, keep staying positive.
Thank you, bro.
Keep winning, keep staying positive, and the world is yours.
Yep. And lastly,
thank you, brother. Hey, we'll keep in touch.
Don't try run away. Don't try run away. Yes. Who's gonna win? Anthony Joshua or Andy Ruiz?
Come on.
Who's winning?
Okay.
Who's winning the fight?
Anthony Joshua's gonna win. Anthony Joshua's gonna win.
Yes.
And if I lose, if I'm wrong,
yes,
then That's very bad.
All right. Thank you
Thanks,
again, brother.
Nah, man, big up Joseph, man. It's a plum pleasing pleasure. Keep on doing it. And say hello to your mum as well, because I sat beside her in last time he was over here. You got a beautiful family, man. And big up your brother as well. All right, take care. God bless, bruv.
Respect, brothers, respect. Thank you.
Sir. Yes, sir. Thank you. What a lovely, just a lovely human being. Humble beyond words.
And Ton, I mean to tell you, like, where he is from, he's lauded. I just want you to understand, like, it's nuts. Like, you don't, like, it's crazy how much he's loved from where he's from. And I think, like, there was no one more right to go speak about this fight because he's been with both guys. But he's a lovely human being.
Yeah, and I'm surprised that they haven't got him on in Saudi.
No, there was talk that he was meant to fight out there, but I don't know what happened, right?
Yes.
But
even from a commentator capacity.
I don't, that one.
Hold on, you said bruv.
Bruv.
You understand?
No, I don't get that one. But you know what? It is what it
is. It is what it is. He's on the fight is right.
That's what. All right.
That's what's important. He's on the fight is right.
And you heard him, and he picked Anthony Joshua.
Yes.
So I mean,
as I picked Anthony as well. Great guy.
Yeah, man.
Dream it, believe it, become it. The fight is right with Joseph Parker. I want to know that me and you was talking about this person afterwards, and he's a done of rematches. he deals with things in clinical fashion. The rematch that he had with Cory Spinks was dealt with in clinical fashion. And for those boxing fans out there, I know you know who I'm talking about. The one, the only, bro, I need a job, bro.
Zab Judah.
Bro, Michael Buffer, you're done. Michael Buffer's done. It's the TA taking over. So come on, draw out the John Wick book.
Come on, man. You know this, man. Let's just go press this magic button up in here. Let's get Zab Judah on the line, man.
Let's go.
Joining us on the phone call right now is the man, the two-weight divisional world champion, the 5 times.
The Superman.
The Superman. Super Zab Judah.
Wait. You know you got to give Zab the round of applause.
Of course you got to give Zab the round of applause because Zab was real Brooklyn.
Yeah. Mike Tyson Brooklyn.
It was Mike Tyson Brooklyn. I mean, Zab was the man. Zab, if we used to go and look back on your career, and there's a big fight that's coming up on the weekend now for our British fighter Anthony Joshua versus Andy Ruiz. Seeing as you're the king of the rematches, I said, bro, there's no better person to come and say, like, how do you change the mindset from going into a fight and it going one way, like not in your favor, and then reversing things in your favor? If I'm going to talk about rematches, even though we talk about boxing and heavyweight boxing different, but fighting's fighting, and your mindset going into the second Cory Spinks fight.
Classic fashion.
That was like, you like that, right?
Yeah, no, trust me. The way I remember watching the fight, 2005, February, and listen, Zab went in there with mean intentions.
Right. Those days we had to get the fight on boxing torrents in the UK because it wasn't shown.
Yes.
To download the fights. That was a vicious knockout, Zab. What do you think Andy Joshua would have to go and do to secure victory this time round? Because the last time he came to New York, your hometown, he came to New York, brother, and he came out second best. What do you think he has to do now to try and get a win?
You know what? This fight is a very interesting fight now because now you got one guy that's been beat, Joshua. He's been beat before. He's been champion, and his title's been taken from him. He's seen some dark days. He's heard some crazy stuff that he's not used to. So right now, he's in an uncomfortable position, but he's given a second chance. He's done everything I'm pretty sure he had to do for the rematch. On the other hand, you got a guy that just got into a position that's loving every bit of everywhere where he's at, everything that he's done. everything that he's seen up until this point.
Wait a minute. You hear that?
Yes.
You're spitting bars. So we got to give you the trumpet. So
Yeah,
go ahead, Zab. So go ahead.
Yes. You know what I'm saying? Because now they've seen everything. So now he is like, oh, this guy's not taking this back. There's no way. There's no way in the world I'm giving this up.
That's exactly what I said.
He's like, so he's a lion now going forward, and the other one's another lion coming forward. He's ready. So this is gonna be fireworks, guys. It's gonna be fireworks. I mean, I like rematches like this with guys that have potential. You know what I'm saying? And they are good fighters because it puts on great rematches. And now it makes everybody rise to their A game. No matter where they was at the first time around, this time both of these gentlemen will be on their A game, and I trust me, it's gonna be fireworks.
Yes, sir.
Do you think, like in the first fight, like because Andy Ruiz was like a substitute fighter because he was meant to fight Big Babe Miller, Jamel Miller, and then they brought in Andy Ruiz. Do you think like Andy Joshua was like, you know, I was meant to fight a fat guy before, and now I'm fighting this other fat guy, and didn't. And like Andy Ruiz, you look at Andy Ruiz, he's not a body beautiful kind of guy. But the guy can truly fight. Don't get twisted. The guy knows boxing. Got very good ring IQ. You know what I mean? Been sparring with Evander Holyfield from a little young man. James Toney says, but he knows the game. Do you think Andy Joshua underestimated him, thinking like, yeah, I'm just gonna get rid of this guy here, and fell short because he underestimated him, and then realized that he was in a fight and couldn't suck it up?
I can't 100% say that he did, but I'm a fighter, an ex-fighter, and I know, yes, when you live in that life like that, you on top of the world. You get that little man in your head go, well, okay, it's the only time I'm gonna do this. You know what I mean? And you step off and you do stuff. You're like, okay, look, I'm fighting this guy. Look at this. I was fighting the fat guy already. Now look. They bought me an even fatter guy. What the hell? Like, I'm just one time. Let me go out and do it, and that be the one time that it costs you a situation like Anthony Joshua got cost. Not saying that was his same scenario. I'm just saying, in a nutshell, a scenarios like that is how the thing gets mishapped and everything get crossed over and changed overnight. And now you find yourself in the water, fighting to get back onto the boat.
Yes.
When you was on the boat, riding and sailing by yourself, now somebody else done jumped off and it snatched you out the boat. Now you got to fight your way back on the boat. So, can he do it? Yeah, he could do it.
So, if he can, how do you think he'd have to do to do it? What do you think Andy Joshua would have to do to secure victory? And what do you think Andy Ruiz would have to do to secure victory?
I mean, Joshua got a box. You know, he see here, he got a smaller guy that's going to come forward, you know what I'm saying, with decent power. You know, I'm pretty sure for this fight, he's trained a little bit harder, so he's going to be punching even a little bit harder in this fight. You know what I mean? So, as a tall guy like that, you box. You use your jab, you use your big right hands, and you know what I'm saying, you work everything behind the jab and you stay long. You know what I'm saying? And then for Ruiz, his job is to get inside, you know what I'm saying, break down that body and land one of them big baseball shots right to the chin.
Mm-hmm. So Zab, come on, I'm gonna put you on the spot there. I don't want no political answer. I want the answer from
You're the Superman now.
Super Zab Judah. That's what I want to know.
I got it.
In your opinion, please, Zab, give us a winner on Saturday night.
The winner of Saturday is going to be the guy that they raise his hand. I'm telling you, I know for a fact. The guy that they raise his hand, that is the winner.
Wait, that's why they call you the Superman. Because you come with them kryptonite answers.
You're right. Come on, Zabadiah Judah. Who do you think's going to pull this one off? We wanted us here. I know, like you're saying, like
No. Listen, Zab is saying, Zab is giving the right political answer.
He's greased up with some Vaseline. He slipped.
We don't want
Listen here.
We don't want that like Pernell Whitaker. No, Pernell Whitaker slip shots like that, man.
We don't want Donald Trump. We want Zab Judah. Zab Judah for president.
No. Listen here. I'm telling you, this is gonna be a very interesting fight. You know what I'm saying? Both guys are my friends.
Yes.
And you know what I'm saying? I want to see both guys. I mean, the main thing I want to see is both guys come out of here healthy.
100%.
You know what I mean? I hope if, whether it go 12 rounds or 1 round or whatever, both guys come out of there with all their faculties as they walked in the ring. You know what I'm saying? Walk out of the ring with that. It's going to be a winner and it's going to be a loser. I don't know. I wish both guys the best. I mean, anybody could pull it off. Right now, we have a 50-50 toss-up right now on this fight.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, Zab, we got to move on to your career.
Mm-hmm. What a career. An illustrious career.
Trust me, it was an illustrious career. I remember when you came to the UK, was that 2000?
Oh, yeah. For Junior Witter.
Yeah,
you upset that apple cart there because people was thinking, Junior was going to do it and you just came came in another man's turf.
Yeah. On the Mike Tyson, Lou Savarese undercard up in Scotland.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that well.
And I remember that was the first time that I got to see you in the flesh.
Yes.
Out here, you was like you were out here, you were Team Tyson. I remember Crocodile was there as well. Yeah, man. I don't know. You still keep in contact with Crocodile?
Yeah. I still talk to Crocodile.
Tell him Spencer
he's in Cleveland right now. He's doing cool.
Okay, but yeah, that was the first time that I saw you fight. And back then, I remember we got a very, very famous trainer in the UK called Jimmy Tibbs, and Jimmy Tibbs said to me, "That kid's like Pernell Whitaker with power."
yes. Well, so who are some of your heroes? I don't know. Heroes a strong word, but who are some of the fighters that inspired you, Zab? Growing up. I know. Yeah, that's the question. Who were your inspirations growing up?
My inspiration growing up as a kid was Mike Tyson, Marvelous Marvin Hagler.
Yes.
And Sugar Ray Pernell Whitaker and Sugar Ray Robinson.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Because you had a nuts, crazy amateur career. I remember everyone was talking about you. It was like they was giving away Golden Glove titles to you each week. It seemed. May
I just say, out of 115 amateur fights, 110 wins.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
And you know what we're giving you for that?
Thank you.
Yeah, so from the time, like I'm saying, the standout fight in your career, what would you say was the night where Zab Judah turned up to be Zab Judah?
Fantastic.
A lot of different nights. I mean, of course, the Cory Spinks night. Guys know that. I mean, that was amazing. The night that I fought Mickey Ward too. That was a very, very challenging fight for myself. I was only 15-0. He was the man. He was that was before Arturo Gatti fights. That was before all that.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Mickey Ward was still today one of my toughest fights ever. Because at the time I only had 15 fights and he was like 30. He had like 34 fights or something like that, and he was stopping guys with the body shot. And he hit me with the body shot too, man.
Round 3.
We trained for it.
I remember he went downstairs.
No. Round 8.
Round 8.
Was it?
Mm.
Round 8.
I was watching
and
that
round
fight the other
8.
Day,
Yeah, round 8. Round 8, he caught me, bang, bang, and I went down. I didn't go down. But I went down to the ground and I contemplated on whether sitting down.
Yeah.
That was a hell of a body shot. I mean,
so he really, Mickey Moore. I mean, we see all the tapes and all the footage. Sometimes I think, what are these guys just going down like some joke business? But you can vouch for it that this guy was a tremendous
man.
punch to the body.
He knew how to do that. I mean, it's like he put it right to the kidneys. Like, hey, yeah. You like, oh my, like it's like a sharp knife. It's like a sharp knife. You know what I mean? He knows how to and then what he do is he hit you to the head with it first, and then he dig it right to the boom. Like he put the pain up top, and then dig it right in there. Boom. I mean, like it was phenomenal. Mickey Ward had to be one of the devastating body punches of my career.
Yes.
No joke.
Yes. You know what?
that had between him and Pernell Whitaker, because people didn't know that Pernell Whitaker was a hell of a body puncher.
Wow.
What
wow.
in camp? He used to go to the body so hard. I used to be like, God damn. I mean, and he know how to. And see, Pernell used to know how to get low. He get real low and getting in there. And, I mean, he be getting in them spots that you never even think of. You know what I mean? Boom, boom, both sides. He's like, God damn, how you hit me both sides like that? You know what I mean? So, yeah, Pernell was definitely one of the legends at body punching. And I would say of my career that I fought Mickey Ward. No joke.
Yes.
No joke.
The fight, a vivid fight, obviously, because who it was, April 2006, Floyd Money Mayweather, Zab Judah. It was like a ghetto fight.
It was a street fight.
It was a ghetto fight, but not the fact that it was in a ghetto. It was just like two young brothers, making that money, and it was just it was a great night. I think for the community, that two young men was playing their show. What was that night like? And before I say that, I'm gonna tell you a story. You didn't know I was in MGM Grand Casino. A woman and her husband came up to you and said, Zab, would you sign this picture? And it was a picture of Floyd hitting you. And you said to the woman, I ain't signing that. And I was, something? I remember that day like anything. And I said, Zab is a bad man. Zab is a bad man. Because he told the woman straight, how the hell do you expect me to sign that picture? So I remember that day, man. You may not remember it, but to me, those...
No, but you know what? I don't remember the exact situation, but I know how I am about that situation. You know what I mean? Like people come up to me a lot of times. They're like, "Yo, like they be like, well, I had to find a picture. It's the only picture I could find, and it'd be a picture of somebody punching your whole face in. And you know how photos are. Photos make you look bad. You know what I mean? Like your whole face is all crunched up, and you're like, I'm not signing that. You're like, please, can you sign this? I'm like, nah. I'm not signing that. Zab, no way.
You are a legend. And young kids out there, go and watch a young Zab Judah. That's my advice. Because you're talking speed, power, technique, skill, everything. And, I think that's it. The young kids nowadays, they don't watch great fighters. And to me, you're definitely going down, or if you're not already down, as a great fighter, Zab. So that's for me personally.
Yeah, man.
I appreciate you guys, definitely.
Nah, man. All I gotta say is peace and love. And praise be to the creator, because after your last fight and for you to come out,
man, we was praying for you.
Yeah, you know that. We
were praying for you.
Thank you.
The powers was on Zab Super Judah's side that day, because you're healthy, wealthy, and strong.
And to hear you talking,
articulate nothing,
like nothing never even happened. That's the powers. That's the powers.
Yes. Amen.
For those. Some people call him God, some people call him Allah, some people Jesus, whatever. We thank him that you're with us here today to speak with us on The Fight Is Right. Zab Super Judah, it has been an absolute honor and pleasure.
Big up, bruv. We love you, man.
Thank you. I love you guys too, man. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Spence. All right. We've heard from Zab. We've heard from Joseph Parker. Let's hear from Spencer, the master knowledge, Fearon. What's your opinion?
I just got to be real. I have to say like this, and I've said this, and like everybody knows, Andy Joshua and his guys listen to what I say. They may not have to take into much of it, but I know they listen to what I say, because a lot of the stuff that I say, they often repeat. Okay. And the thing that Andy Joshua recently repeated is like, I cannot continue to do the same things thinking I'm going to get a different result. And it was on Toe to Toe from Sky. I went on a vicious rant about Andy Joshua, knowing that you can't continue to do the same things and think you're going to get a different result. And what evidently I have seen Andy Joshua Why not? And get a different result.
Yeah,
you're doing the same thing. Because you're doing the same thing.
No,
so why? No,
but it might just not be time yet.
Yeah, it might not be time, but you see, but then you think about.
But you haven't thought about that though.
No, I have thought about that.
It might not be time.
No. There had to be something, because if that was the case and you were doing something and it's the same thing or the same formula, you could have a mixture for a cake.
Yes.
Now I know you know, because I know you used to be cooking.
Yes.
In the kitchen, whipping it up, right? Yes. Now, when you know that you can have certain ingredients. And I'm just asking a question. Right, I know. You're playing God's advocate again, right? So there, I'm saying that you whip that up and you go put it in the oven and you take it out at the time and it says that you're gonna leave it for 45 minutes. You take it out for 45 minutes, but it don't taste right.
Yes,
something ain't right.
So that's my point. So my point is this: if you plant a seed and the seed takes 9 months to come to full term, it's not that you planted the seed wrong. It just wasn't time. Exactly. So therefore, the point I'm making is this.
So then when you're saying wait,
where's Jerry?
Oh, okay.
You know what where's Jerry means? Where's Jerry means humble yourself. Please, wait, let me speak. So I'm not saying you're wrong, but I'm just looking at it from a different point of view. Because to me, it's funny that when you've been doing something the same way all the time and one thing goes wrong, everyone always says, you need to change. You need to, and I like that saying. I do like that saying, what you've said. But how about doing the same thing, not changing that route, but it just wasn't time at that particular moment.
Okay, then. So if it was a time at that particular moment, you cannot build a time machine and go back in time to reverse that. Yes. So then obviously, when you do it on the second time out, you cannot do the thing exactly the same as you did before. But why not? Because it's a different time.
But it's a seed.
But it's a seed, but it's a different time though, isn't it?
Anyway.
And the seed...
I'm going to agree to disagree.
No, that's cool for you to disagree, but I'm telling you, you cannot...
No, I just said... No, I'm agreeing.
Right. You cannot... I'm going to say this again to guys listening. You cannot do the same thing. Yes. Right? And think you're going to get a different result. There is something that you're going to have to change. Maybe the change is a mental thing. Okay. And it's not something of a physicalities.
No, but don't you agree? Don't you agree? I mean, this is not a debate show.
No, I know it's not.
But don't you agree?
Well, it was last week, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, when me and Chris was going in. But I think we had to block that out. But
sparring is the key.
Don't you see what I'm saying? The point. I mean, think about it, Spence. I'm just saying that. You know, one could change trainers or do this, do that. But maybe if a person just showed a little patience, then what he was doing...
Okay. And if he shows patience,
yes,
he's showing a difference to who he was, and that's the change.
Not really.
I don't
believe that.
Well, I don't believe that. That's the change, Ton.
Okay. I'm just saying, listen, I'm sure people will have... for and against
obviously
using that. But but anyway, so
as the great,
let's go back
as the great Howard Wilson, our former Prime Minister of our country in 1976, and the reason why this stands out
this is why you're the knowledge.
Yep, it was the same year that Sugar Ray Leonard won the Olympic gold medal, and so did Michael Spinks and Leon Spinks.
Yes.
He said, "He who rejects change is the architect of decay, for the only human institution that rejects progress is the cemetery." So if you don't change certain things, whether it be a physical or a mental thing, you shall die.
Is that the same man who said if it ain't broke, don't fix it?
No, it's not the same man.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Not the same man.
It's what I'm trying to say. It's like there's always...
Of course there is.
A get out clause.
Yeah, of course
there's always two ways of looking at the same coin.
Right.
Heads and tails, up, down, left, right, positive, negative. I'm just saying
So do you think Anthony Joshua can go and do the same thing as he did the last time out and get a different result against Andy Ruiz?
I personally believe that if it was a 3-round fight, AJ wins.
If it was a 3-round fight.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
But the thing that stands out is the if. No, that is the major thing.
I'm just saying that.
And the if was not, because it wasn't a 3-round fight. And if it was a 3-round fight, AJ actually could have lost, because he could have won the first round.
Yes.
Ruiz could have won the second round. and the
third round.
And the third round,
right?
no, the third round, they both went down.
Okay.
All right. So
okay.
Then,
Interesting.
All right then.
Well,
so
that's why it's called The Fight Is Right.
Exactly.
Everybody's got an opinion.
Cool. That's right.
So you did say that AJ's camp obviously listened to you and they've made some changes.
I know they've made adjustments.
Right.
And AJ was the one that spoke about that. He's made adjustments. Yeah. And that's what I want to know. That I want to see adjustments in Anthony Joshua.
Yes. Is there enough time?
To see if he thinks that it's enough time, then it's enough time.
Of course.
It's your thinking.
Yes.
It's what you think. It's what you think. And like I keep on saying, what you think about, you bring about.
Yes.
And if he truly believes in his heart.
Yes.
And now that he's cut weight, it's going to be the lightest he's been in 5 years.
Oh, wow.
Man, I'm seeing him. He's looking like a young Cassius Clay. How he looks so slim.
To me, regardless if he changes nothing, he's still going to win.
Right.
That's just how I think.
Right.
I just believe that, forgive me if I'm mistaken, but I think he said that the gods were shining on Ruiz that night.
Yeah. And he explained it as well.
And he explained it. Okay, yeah. But, I just believe that it was a fight that was taken... And not
with a pinch of salt kind of
not
thing?
with a pinch of salt, but I just think that, it's top flight boxing. And I think that you need mental preparation more so than the physical. And I don't think that he was mentally prepared the first time round because of the short notice.
All right, so
and I believe this time
he'll be mentally prepared.
So
the first time he wasn't mentally prepared.
Well, I'm just saying there
could
have
been
maybe it could have been that. Yeah,
so,
maybe he wasn't mentally prepared in the sense that when you're preparing for a top class fight, Anthony Joshua would know about this, and even going back from the Olympics, that mental aspect means a lot. And that's the only thing I can say. I can't actually say changing trainers or anything or bringing in new trainers is actually going to do anything. I just think that this time, proper camp, proper focus, maybe doing things that he was doing from the beginning of his career.
Okay.
Maybe they've come back into it. So maybe that's what you mean when you say he's doing something different. All right. And I believe that will give him the victory.
So if Anthony Joshua allegedly wasn't focused the first time,
yes. But I didn't use those words.
No, but
I just said he didn't have the preparation.
Didn't have the preparation.
Yeah.
And this time he goes into a fight believing that he's prepared, or you're believing that he's prepared.
Yes.
Therefore lies the change.
Yes, I guess so.
That's what I'm talking about. That's the change. So we can now we can agree to agree, right?
Yeah.
On God's advocate.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm gonna agree anyway. Because I just don't like arguing.
No. Give me a break, son. No. Instant block.
Instant block.
What happened to Tom Lyons the other day? There's a kid from Raps on TV. What happened?
I had to block him. He's trying to draw me into politics. I'm not a politician. Yeah. I'm not a politician. I'm a fun-loving guy, a positive guy, and I don't entertain negativity.
Did he get instant block?
I didn't block him because I like Tom. I do like him.
Well, you did put him in his place.
I put him in his place. He's a young man. He's hungry for knowledge. He likes to, play as though he's 100 years old and he's only a little whippersnapper, as I call him.
No, but I like the kid,
And I like him.
He's very enthusiastic. I like Tom a lot. So I don't want Tom to be upset to think like, we like the fighting rights against him.
We're bullying him.
Yeah, we're bullying him. You know what I mean? I don't want to hear none of that, and don't feel depressed at Christmas right now. No, because Tom's our guy, man.
Tom's our guy.
But
Tunde Ajayi said it. Anthony Joshua KO within 4 rounds.
Within 4 rounds.
Yes, I know you think a bit slightly.
Yeah, different. I do slightly think different because Anthony Joshua's guys, especially KD. I don't know if you know, like. David KD and Anthony Joshua's camp, he's real. He's one of the realest guys out there. He's my guy. Like, I'll send Anthony Joshua fights all the time and harass him. I'll send him fights to watch and to study. Like with most boxers, anyone who talks to me who's inside boxing, like, Spencer will send me fights. Say, go watch this, go watch that. It's kind of similarities. I'll send him fights. And I think this fight could be very similar to Frank Bruno.
Oliver
McCall. Yeah, you know, right? Yeah. Frank Bruno, Oliver McCall.
I know a little bit of knowledge.
No, come on. You understand. You understand. You cannot be around me and not know this thing.
Yeah, that's
right?
true.
So I'm saying maybe you should be watching that because the weirdest thing is this, is like we're looking at someone like Anthony Joshua who's actually a super athlete. Okay. Who could most probably go into any sport and excelled in it because he's naturally athletically gifted. Like, the average man would have certain amount of quick twitch fibers in their body. Anthony Joshua must pass that by 10 on most guys. He's just an incredible athlete. I've said on many occasions that he's not an incredible boxer. He's got through on certain things because he's just naturally athletic.
No.
I'm saying that he's not. No, I'm talking to the fundamentals. He's not no Tyson Fury.
No.
He's not no Tyson Fury, Tom.
No, but
and that's no disrespect to Andy Joshua.
No, but he won an Olympic gold medal. He has to be a good boxer.
No.
To win an Olympic gold medal.
1 second. To the premise of what Andy Joshua was bringing to the table, I'm saying he wasn't a fluid. He didn't have the fluidity or the how can I put it? Like the natural guile of things.
You know me, I'm a bit different from most people's thinking in boxing, and I just think that it's styles. People have different styles, and it's called boxing. It's called boxing. Yeah, he's not. His hands are not low like Tyson Fury and everything, but he's still a good boxer, still a great boxer. And I think that winning an Olympic gold medal is a great thing because it is boxing.
I'm saying with Anthony Joshua, he's incredibly talented, right? And he's
I don't believe in talent. I've told you that years ago.
I know you believe in.
I don't believe it. Hard work, dedication, hours. Okay. Be talented and don't train and see what happens to you.
I think you can look at my career.
Exactly. You had so-called talent, but the work that's needed to become a top-class athlete takes time, sacrifice, and a lot of damn hard work. And hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard.
Hard enough, 100%.
But give myself a round of applause.
Sorry, 1 second. Let me give Tunde a pat on the back there. But what I'm saying is this: when I'm looking at Anthony Joshua,
yes,
I'm saying, boy, and you should be watching old time fights. When I'm seeing Anthony Joshua now, I'm seeing him like properly watching fights. He's not doing it for the cameras per se, but he's just got proper fights just on all the time. Okay. Now, I say this to all fighters. I'm saying, listen, you fight, you're meant to have boxing on all the time. I remember being a little young you watching a documentary on Ian Wright, who we got to get on the show because he's now out of the jungle, right? And
they'll kick him out of the jungle.
Yeah, he's out of the jungle now, man. Trust me.
Do you see that? You see that little meme thing?
I put it up in it.
Was it you that put it up?
The Caribbean
woman with it out for extra gravy.
I put it up. But now we gotta drop it in. Right?
That was jokes.
But I remember like I think it was BBC Sport inside Ian Wright's house, and he just had loads of videotapes all lined out.
Yeah,
and he just had football. On the TV. Every room you go in the house has football on. Yes. And that's the thing, where when you got something that's you're surrounded by it. Yes. It's like, so the great things that certain great players were doing, or football players, or if you just twist it now into boxing, great things that great fighters do, you'll emulate that, you'll pick that up.
Shannon Briggs said that.
Right then. Right. So, and I'm saying like, and I'm seeing Andy Joshua do that now. And also I'm saying like, even though it seems a bit pressurizing on Anthony Joshua right now, right? It's allegedly so, right? It seems pressurizing, but that's a good thing. When I'm seeing Anthony Joshua a bit too loose and kick and hugging up and kissing, all that kind of foolishness, right? But now I can see that.
But that could be a game plan, though.
Well, yeah, it can be.
but I don't listen.
But now it's not. Now I'm saying like I'm seeing all the build up. I'm seeing Anthony Joshua looking very, very serious, very focused, very like, right. You know what?
No, but Spence, listen. You know me, I respect your knowledge. But I'm saying like when people say now he's looking very serious and very focused, how did he win a gold medal if he wasn't that in the first place?
He was serious and focused.
How did he? No, wait.
Go on.
How did he become a unified champion if he wasn't serious and focused in the first place? There must have been that inside of him. It's just that people have a public persona and a private persona, and I believe. In private, Anthony Joshua is very, very serious.
No, 100%. But now more so, it's like the public persona that he'd be that salesman to sell brand AJ. Now he's like, I don't really care about this brand AJ. I care about getting my titles back.
Yeah,
because of that, exactly. And because of that, I'm saying, this is the killer that I want to see. This is the guy that I want to see. This I want to see that guy. You know what I mean? He's playing it a little bit like, but no, on the reels, look in his eyes. You can see in his eyes that he wants it. So I do revert back to think that he wants it, but I do think also that Andy Ruiz proved in the last fight that he's got a very good chin. Right? Trust me. When he got hit down with an uppercut,
I was watching some highlights.
Guy's got a chin, you know.
He's a good fighter.
Right, he's a good fighter. He knows how to gauge distance very well. Like, you'll throw shots and he'll know, okay, you're throwing at me, I'm going to throw back at you. But he's not swinging them in. He throws correct shots back at you.
Okay.
Right?
Spencer Fearon.
Yep.
Who wins the fight Saturday night?
Andy Joshua on points, and it's going to be a hard one as well because he's going to get pushed in the middle rounds. I think he's going to have to bite down on his gum shield, administer that jab, and I got Anthony Joshua on points. That's how I see this fight. Something like 116, 112 for Anthony Joshua, and enough of a fight that Ruiz will put up that there will be a rematch, and I don't know where they're going to have it, but I think they could go back to Saudi. You know what I mean? And Anthony Joshua's going to earn even more money. But I think that both men should be commended for how they've sold this fight, how they've gone onto a foreign soil and built up a fight, and they brought a fan base out there as well. And I think that's what I'm looking for. But I would really like to see, because you got Dillian Whyte on the undercard, you got Povetkin on the undercard.
That's a fight that's gone under the radar.
Yeah, on the radar.
Povetkin against Michael Hunter.
Yeah, listen, Michael Hunter can fight.
Brilliant. Well, we was in the gym with him. I know that for certain.
Michael Hunter can fight. And at the time when he was down at cruiserweight and he threw Usyk, we knew them times he weren't training.
Yeah, of course not.
Right? So we're seeing Michael Hunter now. Michael Hunter from the States. You know what? That has gone underneath the radar. And in this fight, I'm going for Michael Hunter I've got Michael Hunter points.
Michael Hunter points.
Yeah, I got him on points.
So we got AJ points, Hunter points, Dillian Whyte.
Dillian Whyte versus Marius Wack. I think Dillian Whyte could stop Wack. I don't think he could do him in about 7 or 8 rounds, especially because Wack's a very tall human being. Throw that jab down to the body. Dylan's likes that snappy jab to the body, that snappy jab, and he could bolo over that right hand and risk it, because usually he's boloing over that right hand and he falls short with it, like he tried it a couple of times with Derek Chisora. He tried the overhand right quite a few times with Ruiz, but Ruiz could figure it out because there were shorter guys. But when you're bolo over, you know you're an excellent trainer. When you're boloing over on tall guys, if you don't hit their chin, you hit their chest.
Yes.
Right? And you hit their chest, you especially if it's coming down in an awkward style, you're going to hit the solar plexus. That wearies you because you got no defense mechanism against that. So I see Dillian Whyte throwing that overhand right, and if he's clever, he's going to come out with a left hook, which he loves to administer. And I see him 7 or 8 rounds for Dillian Whyte, and hopefully in the new year, Dillian Whyte can get a world title shot.
Amen.
Yep.
Spencer Fearon, yours truly.
Yeah, man. Plum pleasing pleasure. And last time, let's shout out, because the show today has come from public investment funds, the people who are putting on the big show out in Saudi Arabia.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Again, tickets available. Clash on the Dunes.sa.
Right. Come on, AJ. Come on, AJ. Come on, AJ. It's as plain and simple as that. And let me tell you the next thing, before we're going to end the show, right? We got guys who were, like I said, who were like laughing at the demise of Anthony Joshua, because sometimes people seem to not feel happy at other people's success. I'm trying to say, if we're all connected, be happy by somebody else's success, and then yours is just around the corner.
I love that.
Right?
I love that.
Simple as that. Come on, AJ. Bring them belts back home.
Yes, sir. It's been fantastic. Join us next week. It sounds like a TV show, doesn't it?
It is a TV show. You see the views?
The Fight is Right.
Come on down.
Remember to like, comment, and subscribe to the Stamina for Sale YouTube channel.